Gleeful Beasts. Behind the Glee.
Hello, and welcome to Gleeful Beasts Behind the Glee, the podcast to accompany the landmark television documentary series Gleeful Beasts. And as ever, I am Joel Veitch, and we are joined by the absolutely resplendent Zezubulon Wonk. Zezubulon, how are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you for noticing my resplendency. I have it on display specifically for comment, and I'm glad that you picked up on it.
It's very hard to miss, or it is absolutely blinding.
Yes, I have drenched myself in an orange fluid which glistens under these lamps.
Yes. I am having to wear a welding mask to have this conversation. I know that listeners can't see that, obviously. But anyway, it was well worth having to wear all the protective gear because your presence is absolutely intimidating.
Yes, I must say it's turned out to be something of a boon for me too, because I no longer have to see your face in person. I can imagine it as it lies behind the horrible constrictive mask that you're having to wear.
Yes, absolutely. And today we are discussing one of, I think, everybody's favourite creatures, a marvel of the natural world, the Arachnoid Squiggler.
Yes, they are a quite fascinating creature, both scuttly and hairy, two of the qualities I like both in people and in animals.
Yes, it's true. And one of the facts that I think is now becoming common knowledge is that everybody is at all times within probably a centimetre of a large number of arachnoid squigglers.
Yes, they are perhaps unique in our documentaries in that they are not found in the plains or on the savannah or in the Arctic tundra. They are instead found all around us, just outside one's field of vision. If you turn your head very quickly, you may catch sight of hundreds of thousands of them lurking behind you. Or on the other hand, you may not. You may just be too slow.
Yes, and much like bedbugs, you've probably got a few thousand of them lurking within and underneath your bedding, coming out every night once you're asleep.
Oh, almost certainly. They'll be emerging to feast upon you, because that is what they are. We are essentially just meals for squigglers.
It's true. They have, they do sometimes hunt, but their preferred method of feeding themselves is to graze on our dead skin while we sleep, right?
Yes, absolutely. They are essentially, their mouth parts are part vacuum cleaner, part scraping brush, and what they do is they essentially scrape at the skin, take the dead elements of it, and hoover them into the back of their throat, where they digest them, and then excrete them as a rather sour-smelling fluid.
Yeah, and to all intents and purposes, if you can imagine a tarantula,
yes,
but one that is a bit hairier and much, much more energetic,
yes,
then that's essentially what they're like, isn't it, really?
And much more venomous. We've found incredibly large and vicious venom glands that lurk just behind the mouthparts. Unfortunately, they don't have any teeth with which to inject that venom. They are entirely vestigial.
Yeah, and if anyone was to come into contact with that venom, obviously, they just swell up and burst within seconds.
Yes, either that or they would shrivel into a dry grey husk and blow away in the wind.
Yeah, I think it depends on the level of hormones in each individual as to how they react.
Yes, we are very fortunate they have no teeth with which to inject us with that venom. If they are ever to develop them, we're goners.
Yeah. So what will happen if you were to set a camera up in your room? Obviously they would notice it and not come out, but as long as they're unobserved, once you're asleep every night you are covered in hundreds and hundreds of these hairy little spiders, hairy large spiders I should say, nibbling at you. And what most people don't realise is that although they are terrifying and awful in every way, if they were not gnawing at us every night, we would be embedded, immobile, within a very large husk of dead skin.
Yes, a cocoon of flakes of you, essentially. Your past you would cocoon yourself until you could no longer move, and you would just lie in bed like a queen termite without any servants to bring you food.
Yeah.
Apart from me, I do have servants to bring me food.
Yes, you do. But the world would be populated essentially by kind of cheesy smelling skin spheres.
Yes, and that is the end result of evolution. That's where we're going.
The skin sphere stage.
Yes, we're essentially going to be zorbing in our own skins.
Yes, which sounds fun, but I understand isn't.
No, I would imagine that for the first few moments, travelling, rolling around, might be quite entertaining, but after several weeks of being encased in essentially a large globe of one's own rotting matter, it would become reasonably unpleasant.
Yeah, so we should all, I think, be grateful for these horrific creatures that come and feast on our bodies every evening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Of course, they do sometimes hunt as well. And if they see any rapid movement of anything that looks like it could be small enough for them to catch, they will reflexively pounce on anything that moves rapidly, won't they?
Yes, we imagine this is to do with the venom glands they have. At one point in their past, they must have been a quite voracious hunter. Unfortunately, nowadays, they just look silly. They will pounce on anything that moves and ineffectively paw at it with their gummy mouth parts until it's covered in their saliva.
Yeah, they will nibble. They are nibblers, aren't they?
Yes.
They will nibble and nibble and nibble.
Yes.
Ineffectively. Although, obviously any creature that does find itself caught and extensively nibbled will come out with beautifully smooth skin.
Oh, absolutely. So there was a time a very short while ago where in shopping centres people would put their feet into bowls of fish, which would then eat the dead skin from around. I proposed something similar with Squigglers, who would be much faster and do a much more comprehensive job. But unfortunately, people found the idea of having hundreds of arachnids swarming over their feet somewhat disconcerting, but are quite happy to shove them in the mouths of fish.
Yeah, and of course they'll only come out if you're not looking. So
yes, you would have to turn your head away, but then within moments you'd be swarmed by them.
Yeah,
you probably
absolutely
are now. There are probably some lurking on the backs of every listener, and that's their favourite place to hide because, of course, it's the one place you can never see.
Yeah, and they are remarkably swift. Like as you were saying, if you turn very, very quickly, you might just catch a kind of hazy, blurred glimpse of some of their furry legs disappearing behind you. But that's all you.
And if you do, it means it's probably an injured one or one that's very old.
Yeah. What happens to them when they reach an age of senescence?
What they do is they come out in one night when they have they develop a grey, bristly fur as opposed to the fine pink stuff we're used to seeing. They emerge onto a body which is already being swarmed with others in the middle of the night. They emit a small ululation, and the others pounce on them and devour them.
Right. Very slowly, obviously.
Yes. They sort of scrape away at them. Unfortunately, underneath their fur, they are, of course, a very wispy animal.
Yeah, and I believe that grey, that very wiry hair that the senescent squiggler ends up with, once the organic matter has been slowly nibbled and rasped away by its peers and children, that is what we use as scouring pads, I believe.
It is, yes. If you have ever taken a recalcitrant pan covered in dried-on bits of lasagna into your sink and gone at it thoroughly, you're using the corpse of a few dead squigglers.
Yeah. So they remain useful even in death.
Oh, yes, they are. Like their cousin, the sponge, they are indeed one of our more useful creatures.
Yeah. Few people know that the sponge... I mean, people think of sponges as something manufactured, but they're not. They're actually extremely lazy aquatic spiders.
They are lazy aquatic spiders, incredibly intelligent, but dreadfully lazy. Some people say that's the same thing. Some people say their intelligence leads to their laziness. Just look at Stephen Hawking, they say.
Yeah, and rightly so. I think we do know of some very unpleasant incidents when explorers found some vestigial populations of squigglers that had retained their venomous injecting fangs in the deepest Amazon and also in some areas on the outskirts of Antarctica. And that went terribly wrong.
Yes, I mean, they are, rather than the friendly and useful creature that our domestic squiggler is, in some areas of the Antipodes, one finds ones that are not quite so civilized, that will certainly tear an explorer limb from limb before cackling and gobbling up. I can only say it as gobbling up a cameraman's legs or arms. And then one has to get a new cameraman.
And that is, of course, how we know about the bursting or shriveling to a husk reactions that different people have to the venom.
Yes, the venom is
a burster or a husker.
Yes, that currently the reason why one might husk or burst is lost to science. We just don't know. And without taking a large number of people there to explode or husk, it's unlikely we'll get an answer. And all of my research projects where I've suggested that have been turned down by the British Council.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have done several expeditions where you've done small numbers, but they were not large enough groups for you to get a scientifically valid result.
No, precisely. The number of people I've managed to explode or husk, which is in the low hundreds, is not statistically significant when one considers the millions of potentially dangerous squigglers.
I personally, I think it's frankly a disgrace and an indictment of our country and our government.
Yes.
That you were rejected so many times in your applications to take 10,000 people.
Yes,
to
just
the
a small
Amazon
number of orphans.
Burst them. Yeah.
Yes, so no one would miss them. I suggested we put them, on a ship, and just hove it into the habitat of the squiggler and see what happens. Time was in this country, one could do that, and one would be as short of an OBE, or a CBE, or a knighthood. Nowadays, one is called a monster.
Yeah. And of course, I just more indictments of what we've become as a society. I know there's a lot of people currently complaining about the fact that now you've introduced those wild populations of squigglers to the taste of human flesh.
Yes.
They are rampaging through those areas where they're found and, basically depopulating entire zones of South America now.
Yes, they do. Once they've got a taste for it, they really go for it. They're a very enthusiastic animal. They've got a real desire to consume the human.
Yeah. Well, they do now anyway.
Consume the hume. That's what we say.
Consume the hume. Yeah. And of course, those people who are complaining about it, what they are missing here is that obviously you weren't to know that you were unleashing this disaster on the whole continent.
No, it was. It had been told to me as a potential outcome, but that was more of a guess than anything.
I mean, I was in those meetings with the squiglologists, and I mean, as I recall, it was phrased as this will definitely happen. But you can't be expected to take these things literally.
No, I think we need to realise that the practice of squigglology is in its infancy, and it doesn't have established standards. So pretty much everything that one says, or an expert, a so-called expert says, should be taken with a pinch of salt, as I'm told by the squigglers, should a human.
Yes, that's correct. And of course, a large number of squigglers, because what is happening at the moment with the these huge scale massacres of South America is an opportunity for squigglologists to find answers to some of their questions, not least about the bursk versus husking quandary. All they need to do is find a way to survive those encounters, because obviously at the moment every squigglologist who's gone in has either burst or become a husk, kind of rolling around in the wind, like a
scientific kite. Yes, the Institute of Squigglology is not what it once was, and I think we should be thankful for that, because they were a most restrictive organisation that had quite backward ideas about what was acceptable.
Yes, and who's to say that we aren't better off just allowing nature to take its course?
Yes, I mean, apart from the wives and families of those people killed, who can tell us that?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly can't, because they've universally been burst. Yeah, or husked. And, I think maybe that might be doing them a favour.
Absolutely. I mean, what sort of future do they have to look forward to anyway? Time was this country was known for traversing the world and sacrificing native populations to scientific discovery. And we learned a lot. We invented the automobile. We didn't. The Germans did that. But we invented, presumably escalators or something.
Yes, I expect we probably did. And you can put all of that, I think, down to these brave scientific endeavours. Which,
yes. You can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs.
No, and you can't study squigglology without without depopulating a continent.
No, and we invented the bouncing bomb by hurling hedgehogs in a bath until they splattered against the wall. And without that sort of research, we would never have defeated Nazism.
I remember fondly, just as an aside, the school trip as a boy that I went to Barnes Wallis's laboratory where he developed the bouncing bomb, where they still reenact every day. They reenact those early experiments where they rotate hedgehogs on the hedgehog rotator up to several thousand RPM.
Oh, yes. And
then chuck them in a pond.
They start them standing ordinarily, and as the rotation starts, they curl into a ball. They curl up very tight.
They do. Yeah.
Then one flings them at a proto-dam.
Yeah.
And then
drop them in a pond.
Yep.
There are a few bricks at the end, which they hit at great speed.
Yes.
And
it's a marvellous sight and reminds one of just truly how inventive the British mind is.
It is.
When one is covered in the viscera of a hedgehog, one can't but glory at the bravery of our scientists.
It's true. And, all of that sacrificed by the hedgehogs was obviously worth it when...
yes, they were all posthumously awarded KBEs.
They were. When those brave men dropped those many thousands of rapidly rotating hedgehogs on the dams of the Ruhr Valley, thereby winning World War II for the Allies.
And let us not forget that it hasn't, not only did it defeat Nazism, but there's an ongoing cultural impact of things like that. The popular character Sonic the Hedgehog is the Japanese adaptation, of course, of our ultrasonic hedgehogs, which came when we flung them very, very fast indeed.
That's correct. And obviously we should not underestimate how important this was for the space race and subsequently...
supersonic hedgehogs there.
Yeah, and subsequently
we developed those in partnership with the French.
Yeah.
The French, of course, just wanted to eat the hedgehogs, but we suggested flinging them very, very fast at things instead. Was a much more scientific way of going about things.
And to this day, obviously, CERN, the huge particle accelerator outside Geneva, they still accelerate hedgehogs extremely fast and smash them into each other.
Yes, I mean that.
And they've apparently learned something in some way from that.
Yes, what they've discovered, the hog particle, haven't they?
The Hoggion.
Yes, the Hoggion, which was previously unknown to science. I mean, who knows what we would find out if we were only allowed to hurl other small mammals at each other.
Yeah, yet another indictment of society. That all those many accelerators that you've built to smash voles, shrews, rabbits, otters.
I mean, people say it's cruel, but with the mole one, they don't even see it coming.
No, they don't. No, and they're very comfortable in that tube until.
Oh yes, I mean, I filled them with worms, stuffed them with worms before flinging them at each other.
Right up until they're accelerated to 99.9% the speed of light and smashed into another mole.
Yes,
they're having a great time.
Yes, I mean, up until not even a second, microsecond, picosecond. I apologise for the background noise. It's raining very heavily here. That's just the marvel of the climate we live in now.
Raining mole parts from your accelerator.
It is raining mole parts from my mole catapult, which I keep on the roof.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you keep these scientific endeavours going while also pursuing such a wonderful career as a natural historian and public educator is a really good example of why you are so highly decorated and so highly prized as a national treasure, Zezubulon.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's also, some people have said it's also to do with the fact that I am, a notably violent man who has a large armoury, an arsenal of weaponry. But yes, I think of myself mainly as a communicator and occasionally as an exploder of hedgehogs.
Yeah, I mean, and as a natural historian, as you are, a naturologist, as the science would have it, you do have a huge collection of animals, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And, one must.
And
no one without rack upon rack of dead animals mounted somewhere in their house in wooden cases with glass covers can call themselves a scientist at all.
Yeah, and your absolutely vast collection of live animals, mammals and otherwise, it would be a crime not to use them for science.
Well, precisely. If one owns an island, as one does, one should keep a series of incredibly rare animals and the hybrids one is creating from them upon it.
Yeah, and a large series of accelerators for seeing what happens when they're accelerated to extremely high velocity.
Because who knows, it hasn't happened yet.
Collided.
But maybe one day we'll discover something truly marvellous when two of these animals smash into each other at incredible speeds.
We discover something about the underlying reality of the universe, I think is your...
I imagine we will.
Yeah,
I mean, until then, we're just really spraying everyone with vole blood. But maybe one day, fingers crossed.
Well, I suspect one day, obviously, the holy grail of this whole endeavour is to get some squigglers and collide them. But obviously, of the two main types of squiggler, is extremely difficult because the domestic squiggler, which we're
Very
also
fast.
familiar with, is impossible to catch. Literally impossible to catch.
Well, no one had caught it on camera until we did by disguising the cameras as another squiggler.
Yeah, and we got the first ever footage of a squiggler.
Yes, I mean, people didn't know they existed until one night I woke myself with a sneeze and found myself covered in the things.
Yeah. And that says something about your special relationship with the wild, I think,
Yes,
that
it
you
does
were
indeed.
able to catch them like that.
Yes, and it
But
also was the way we found out that they are very attracted towards loud, unpleasant snoring.
Yeah, they get sucked up your nose holes, don't they?
Yes,
by the
every
hundred.
single human being has lungs at least a third full of inhaled squigglers.
Wriggling in there and laying their eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, and laying their eggs in your sinuses as well. So they
Yes,
can
if one's
burrow
very
through to
lucky,
your brain.
after one's, they make their way to the brain and they stay in control, and one can live a perfectly happy life, wandering around being controlled by squigglers.
Yeah, as long as you don't think too hard about them.
Well, you
wriggling
can't,
around
because
inside your skull.
they've got your lobes.
Yeah, they've got your lobes. Yeah. I was going to say, sorry, the other option for finding out something about the fundamental underlying nature of reality would be to collide a couple of wild squigglers at very high velocity, but obviously any contact with them has so far proved 100% fatal.
Yes, and one doesn't want to burst, or indeed husk, so one must steer very clear of them, and indeed most of the continent of South America now.
Just keep sending in the orphans, and if by any chance one does manage to escape with a wild squiggler, then maybe you get a chance
then the party
to accelerate
starts.
it.
Yeah, then it's game on.
Yeah, as long as no one gets too close to it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why my series of orphanages have proven so useful to science.
Yeah, all around the world.
Oh, yes.
There's many orphanages that you're building.
Yes, and you know, as long as we can afford to pay people to go out with big nets, we've got an endless supply of orphans.
Yeah, and as long as people keep falling into the jaws of the wild squigglers, there's an endless supply of squigglers as well. It's just obviously
it's the
very
cycle of
difficult
life
to profit from it.
Yes,
it is.
I mean, yes, ownership of the orphanages has proven very profitable because the demand for orphans is so high.
Yes, and I think we can all agree that if there's anybody who deserves to be sitting atop an enormous pile of gold bullion, it's you, and that is exactly what you do. Obviously.
Yes, precisely. I mean, even if I don't deserve to, it is what I do. It's a fact. We must, as scientists, we must deal with the world that we see, not with the one we imagine or the one we wish would come to pass. And so, yes, that is exactly what I do.
And obviously, you know, the king has recently declared it to be an actual crime for anybody to complain about the fact that you own that huge volcano with a cavern underneath it filled with bullion, which you sit atop.
Yes, I mean, I had hoped that the volcano itself would dissuade people from harsh remarks, but apparently we need slightly more to dissuade them. So I got my good friend, the king, to issue an edict to say that anyone who derides my volcano will suffer the pain of death.
Yeah, by volcano.
By volcano. I mean, that's live by the sword, die by the sword. I mean, if I had a sword, that would be, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they are given the option, are they not, to volunteer to donate their lives to science?
Yes,
and,
they can get on the next orphan boat out. Yes. There is an outside chance they might successfully encounter, catch and retrieve a wild squiggler. I mean, in which case, they might even survive. Yes, I don't like to give people false hope, but they should have some hope. Not that that hope has ever been realised.
No, because they are going to burst, or potentially.
They're going to almost certainly burst or husk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this has been a wonderful and extremely informative conversation.
Thank you.
And I'm sure all of our listeners now feel much more informed about the
the terrible creatures that climb upon them every night and feast upon their skin.
Yeah. And if they want to know more about this and the many other wonders of the natural world which you have dedicated your life to studying...
Yes, they should watch more episodes of Gleeful Beasts.
Gleeful Beasts, yes, the landmark natural history documentary series presented by you, Zezubulon Wonk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gleeful Beasts. Behind the Glee.